Right now at 10, a fire at a Vernon County landfill. What the chief says likely caused it. And a crucial conversation on the future of Medicaid for people with disabilities. Plus, La Crosse Regional Airport announces changes to an air service.
Watching WKDT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Emily Brown. Ken is off tonight. One of the three suspects in a Northside shooting appeared in La Crosse County Court today. 19-year-old Jason Moran is facing charges of attempted first-degree intentional homicide. He is accused, along with a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old, of shooting a person Sunday night on Logan Street. He's being held on a $100,000 cash bond. Another La Crosse school board candidate is dropping out of the race ahead of the April election. Kevin Hunt announcing his exit this morning. Due to his election rules, his name will still appear on the ballot. But he's endorsing three other candidates, Molly Fuchs, Meredith Garcia, and Jeff Jackson, urging voters to support a slate of progressive candidates. Another candidate, Sam Morris, withdrew last month, citing ongoing hateful comments. A fire broke out at the Vernon County landfill this afternoon. Fire Chief Chad Burrows said it started around 2 p.m. and was likely caused by lithium batteries. No fatalities or injuries were reported. The fire is now out and still under investigation. The Wisconsin DNR is warning of extreme wildfire risks this weekend. Towns of Bergen and Stoddard are now banning all outdoor burning due to dangerous conditions. That means no burn piles, no burn barrels, and no fireworks. Campfires are only allowed in developed camping areas. If you're heading outdoors this weekend, check local conditions.
Everything is really dry, and it's been upgraded from a high fire danger to a very high fire danger, causing more risk for burning and fires getting out of control. And so we're just looking for everyone to be safe.
The DNR says the ban will be in place until conditions significantly improve.
Well, we still have thunderstorms really beginning to push up into the area, but really they've started the weekend. So although we don't expect a lot of severe wind gusts, there is that potential to see winds probably 35 to 40 as this line pushes northeast. But the bigger story for the weekend beyond the storms tonight is really damp and colder conditions, which should help the fire situation somewhat, although it's not going to really be that warm and we're not expecting any green up yet. Until that happens, we're still going to have the fire danger. Overall, behind that pink is where you have the severe thunderstorm warning. Once again, it's still out there, but I think it'll be trimmed back more and more. That leading edge has been still producing. Those are wind gusts in a 25 to 35, even some a little bit higher than that. It's beginning to push further north. The strongest winds right now really are towards Prairie du Chien and south of that area. So we're going to see that come through the area, continue to fall apart. But you still could see wet conditions, thunderstorms, and winds pretty much continue to push up there. And you can see as we zoom in, that activity is pushing up towards it, but it's struggling with it. And up north of Eau Claire, it's still going to probably be another hour towards Ladysmith to see any of this activity. Probably just showers. And there, as you can see, that wind, that little outflow, as we call it, that winds from green to red, that's what's pushing through and kind of helping to weaken it. Big picture as we go through, more of that activity will finally get out of the area probably by midnight. And for the most part, it should be quiet there afterwards. So later on, we'll break down the windy conditions we have for the weekend. The temperatures are going the other way, going back down, and what it looks like for St. Patrick's Day, all a bit coming up a bit later.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Greg. A Stand for Vets rally happened in La Crosse today. It was at 7th and Cass Street. The rally called attention to the federal firings of vets and cuts to support and health care programs.
Purpose is for people to pay attention to what's happening to our care for veterans, and it's terrible. I mean, I'm a client, and I have a niece that works for VA, and it's just terrible.
Similar rallies were held across the country. They come as a federal judge orders reinstating most fired probationary federal workers. Aptiv and lawmakers held a talkback session with people who rely on Medicaid for disability support. Aptiv provides services including housing, support, and recreation programs. These services are largely funded through Medicaid. Karen Pulowski's son has relied on Aptiv for more than 30 years. She says losing support devices would devastate him.
He's like afraid that he won't have his home with his his housemates, and his caretakers. They're his family. They're everything to him.
State Senator Brad Pfaff, Representative Tara Johnson, and a representative for Tammy Baldwin attended. Congressman Derek Van Orden and Congressman Mark Pocan were invited but unable to attend. Today, Congressman Derek Van Orden visited Ornua Ingredients North America, the producer of Kerrygold in Whitehall, Wisconsin. The visit included a tour of the facility and a discussion on the important role the company plays in the 3rd District.
This is a fantastic partnership between an Irish company and us locally here, so that we can provide high quality, inexpensive food on around the country and the world. It's fantastic.
Last week, the USDA released millions of dollars for the Dairy Business Innovation Initiative program, benefiting at least 420 businesses across the state. Judge Brad Schimmel toured ORC Industries in La Crosse this afternoon. Schimmel met with employees at the facility and got to see the types of products they make. He says it's meaningful to be able to see firsthand what businesses are doing for the people of Wisconsin.
I'm enforcing the law or applying the law, knowing what's behind the scenes, what people do for a living, it always helps.
ORC Industries is working to improve the lives of people with disabilities by providing meaningful employment opportunities. The La Crosse Regional Airport released updates on their air service operations. Air Wisconsin will no longer be providing services for American Airlines to La Crosse Regional Airport. With this change, Envoy Airline will take over, replacing the CRJ-200 with a larger E-170 aircraft. The new plane will increase seating capacity from 50 to 70 seats.
So we're going to have additional seats in our market every single day, and that is huge. So the key thing is here for our catchment area for our passengers to use this service.
The changes will be put in place April 4th. Today, March 14th, is Pi Day, and Omega Bakery is celebrating the number that make their world go round. Nearly 70 pies were made the day before, and roughly half were pre-ordered. The owner says Pi Day is a day she will always make sure to celebrate.
I love pi, and it's in mathematics. Pi is just a really cool number because it's irrational. And it just keeps going on and on forever. So, since I used to teach math, we celebrate Pi Day here.
The gluten-free Holman Bakery features more than 250 items on their menu and boasts over 4,000 flavor combinations. Artists and environmentalists were united for a night of creativity. A UWL professor hosted the first Peace, Poets, Environmentalists, Artists for Community Engagement event. Artists and activists got to express themselves through poetry, music, and art.
Creative expression is always important, but having a space to do that freely and to inspire each other is really important, especially right now.
Wellick says she hopes to have another Peace event in the next couple of months. Coming up, the Senate votes to avoid a government shutdown, why the decision is causing major division among Democrats.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado, or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford. Right now, there's a lot of false ads trying to tell you who I am. So I thought I'd tell you myself. As a former prosecutor and now as a judge, I've made sure rapists, murderers, and child predators were behind bars. I believe in protecting your family and your right to privacy, and that women have the right to make their own decisions about their health care. Because to me, that's just common sense. And that's why I'm running for Supreme Court.
For over 25 years, Window World's provided quality products for homeowners around the country, including windows and doors. Every window we sell is custom made for optimal energy efficiency and superior durability. Plus, a vinyl finish means they'll never need painting. Just like our windows, entry doors from Window World are made to last, featuring a durable fiberglass construction that provides up to 4 times the insulation value of wood. When it comes time for new windows or doors, trust America's exterior remodeler. Trust Window World.
At the University of Wisconsin-Madison, we believe in working together to address real-world challenges. That's why we're proud to help farmers cultivate healthy food and landowners preserve and maintain forest land. We're proud to educate the next generation of teachers and drive groundbreaking medical research. Together, we make an impact that rings loud and clear. One Wisconsin, on Wisconsin.
The Senate voted to avoid a partial government shutdown by passing a bill that funds federal agencies until September. But as CBS News correspondent Erica Brown reports from Capitol Hill, the decision divided Democrats.
The yeas are 54, the nays are 46. The bill is passed.
The Senate passed a 6-month spending bill, averting a partial government shutdown just hours before the midnight deadline. Senate Democrats were faced with the difficult decision to either vote to advance the Republican spending bill that pushes President Trump's agenda or risk a shutdown. Thursday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer reversed course, announcing his support for the temporary spending bill known as a continuing resolution.
The CR is a bad bill. But as bad as the CR is, I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option.
The bill now heads to President Trump's desk to be signed into law.
And I appreciate Senator Schumer, and I think he did the right thing. Really, I'm very impressed by that.
Some Democrats have sharply criticized support for the bill and pressured Democratic senators to vote against the measure.
This bill is to establish a slush fund for Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and it sets the stage for cutting Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security.
Congress has been unable to pass annual appropriations bills. Instead, lawmakers have been relying on short-term extensions like this one.
We're voting on yet another continuing resolution today because last year's Democrat majority pushed off full-year appropriations again and again.
The measure increases defense spending by $6 billion and cuts non-defense spending by about $13 billion. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
Vice President J.D. Vance says he expects there will be a deal to keep TikTok up and running in the U.S. As of now, President Trump's extension to a previous ban on the social media platform expires April 5th. Several prominent bidders have come forward as potential buyers for the platform's U.S. operations. Today, Vance told NBC News there will, quote, almost certainly be a deal made by then. Vance also said he thinks the deal would address national security concerns, which fueled the initial ban by then President Biden. But if a deal isn't reached, Trump said he would, quote, probably extend the deadline. Well, we'll have more news ahead, but first.
Unfortunately, it is going to be a colder and kind of damp, windy type of weekend before St. Patrick's Day. But the good news is St. Patrick's Day that day is actually looking fairly nice. We'll break down what the temperatures and winds look like and what it looks like going into next week. That all coming up on your First One Weather Update after the break.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0% APR on select Sierra 1500 models. That's over $5,600 in average finance savings. We are professional grade.
When my sister was murdered 15 years ago, Brad Schimmel kept his promise to us. He told us he was going to get us justice, and he did. When I see these commercials attacking him, I have a lot to say about that, because Brad would kneel next to my mom and hold her hands. And you're gonna tell me that's a person that doesn't care about victims? I'm sorry, that is not true. Brad puts victims first, and that's the type of person that should be in the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Here at Carl's, you'll find the top name brand appliances.
During our Slam Dunk Savings event, save up to $2,000 instantly on major appliances. Plus, get up to $3,000 in vendor rebates. Purchase an LG 4-piece kitchen package and get this LG 55-inch TV free.
The hot buys are right here, right now at Carl's.
Save on Serta mattresses.
All TVs are on sale.
The spring grill shipments have arrived.
Carl's, your servicing dealer since 1956.
Around here, neighbors come together to make each other better. We're taking the same approach with healthcare. Gunderson Health System and Bellin Health have come together to form Amplify Health, giving you more of what's important in healthcare. More caring, more listening, more to feel good about on your way to feeling better. Overall, just a little more heart. Amplify Health by Gunderson. A little empathy changes everything.
You know what's on my mind? It's butt cold out here and I don't have any heat at home.
Well, gotta have heat, Einstein.
Up yours, smarty. I just don't know who to call.
Jacob said Chuck used the local company. The primary colors, the good one?
What?
What?
Huh?
Well, there's your sign.
Jeez Louise.
Moron.
Hey, putz.
Call GNC.
For the best heating and air conditioning, guaranteed.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
Well, overall, the good news is some of the dry air that we had overhead kind of worked against these storms as they pushed northeast. So we didn't get quite the wind they got down in Iowa, but we're still going to get a line that's going to come through. And you can see these white boxes. That's basically a special weather statement saying you could see winds maybe 40 to 50 miles per hour with this leading edge. And we've seen some of those reports too. These are current wind gusts over the last hour. You can see up to 40 there, North Preston too. So some of this still will contain gusts that could reach over 40 as it pushes through, but it still is the weakening trend. You can see there is less lightning as we go over, but this whole thing is rotating around the low that begins to push northeast. So precipitation wise, we're still going to see it, just not probably going to see any type of severe type wind gusts probably for the rest of the night. Big picture shows this line begins to push northeast. It will continue to weaken, but still we'll expect to see showers and maybe a few thunderstorms as they continue to push forward I-94. Eventually, as we get towards 2 or 3, it's going to be all the way further north, probably up to Rice Lake, even further north than Ladysmith. And generally, we might see partly cloudy, even mostly clear skies for a brief time as the winds begin to turn around. So fairly quiet night all the way until morning till we start seeing this moisture begin to pull back to the north. That will actually provide another opportunity for rain coming through basically La Crosse, maybe up to Eau Claire. That area will see that through the morning hour. Areas to the south and east of that may not see much in the way of precipitation, but notice to the west that all that cold air blizzard type conditions are going to be setting up west of the Twin Cities there in western Minnesota. Then we're going to start seeing the winds kind of turn around a little bit. So by the time we get to the noon hour, there's a few more showers, but then notice the winds begin to turn around to the west, and that's when they're really going to start picking up late morning out of that west and eventually northwest direction. But in the afternoon, the good news with just the wind, we're just going to see cloud cover, probably not a lot of precipitation, but also notice the temperatures at this point at 3 p.m. We're back into the 30s. We started off in the 50s. So you're going to see decreasing temperatures throughout the day, winds picking up late morning going into the afternoon, and the rain chance really is in the morning, although a few sprinkles or showers could happen in the afternoon. The good news going into the evening hour, less clouds. The winds will start dying down a little bit, but the temperatures continue to plummet. So even though we'll be around 32, 33 at this point at 8 or 9, the wind chill will probably push it into the teens. So definitely bundle up if you're outside doing activities for any St. Patrick stuff going on. Here's your winds. They really begin to crank up in the late morning, early afternoon. We could see wind gusts up to 40 to 45 behind this low. By the time we get to Saturday night, they turn around to basically now the northwest. Still breezy Saturday night. And then going into Sunday morning, it'll still be breezy, but then the winds should begin to die down a little bit by Sunday afternoon. But Sunday, you still see gusts 25 to 30. So it's going to be kind of a chilly Saturday compared to what we've seen for the last couple days. Temperature-wise for Sunday, upper 30s, low 40s. That actually is a little bit below average. Factor in the wind, it definitely won't feel like that. It'll probably feel more like in the low to mid 20s. So definitely a colder thing. The good news for St. Patrick's Day going into it, we're looking at temperatures, I kind of skipped right over that, getting back into the 60s, which is pleasant. Unfortunately, we got something else to talk about next week, is we got an opportunity for snow to come back in the picture, especially Wednesday. That really is getting 50 to 75% chance of seeing greater than 3 inches Wednesday and Wednesday night. So we'll have to keep a tune on that. If you got travel plans that time frame for Wednesday or Wednesday night of next week, definitely stay tuned to the forecast because we could see some impacts going on. Otherwise, like I said, St. Patrick's Day looks really great, 62, and Tuesday also 64, and then that snow comes in potentially for a Wednesday, followed by more cooler conditions behind it. So still got some wet conditions tonight. Overall, the weekend's going to be much colder than we've had recently, but St. Patrick's Day actually looks not too bad.
Looks quite dandy.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
thank you. All right, thank you, Greg. Coming up next in sports, a thriller in Mitchell Hall. UW La Crosse making a furious second half comeback, but could they come out with the win? Jacob has the answer.
I want to drive a big truck.
College, tuition, bills. Someday I'll get that new truck.
This is just where we're at right now. Someday you'll get that big truck.
We've waited 40 years for this Denali, and it's beautiful. Is the big truck next?
Some kids just never grow up.
I'm Sheriff David Zerner with an urgent message. We can't keep you safe when liberal judges refuse to actually punish violent criminals. And Judge Susan Crawford, she's the worst. She continually lets dangerous criminals off easy. 4 years for a man who raped a 6-year-old child. 2 years for a wife beater who also shot a man. Only 90 days for a man who strangled a woman. With judges like Susan Crawford putting violent criminals back on the streets, we can't keep you safe.
Tell Judge Crawford to stop releasing dangerous criminals.
Searching for gold at the end of the rainbow? Well, you can find it here at the King Furniture St. Patrick's Day sale. Get Shamrock with savings up to 60% off, plus 0% free financing, recliners, sofas, sectionals, and more. It's all here and it's all in stock and ready to be delivered. Plus, shop special savings in our incredible Lazy Boy Showcase. Let the shenanigans begin at the King Furniture St. Patrick's Day sale. Don't miss it.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's spring jeans sale is going on now, and we have a great selection of quality name brand denim at unbeatable prices. New at Blaine's, men's full blue jeans are on sale, just $12.99 a pair. Get a free $15 Blaine's gift card with every $50 purchase of Lee or Wrangler jeans. And save on women's and kids' Wrangler retro jeans, 25% off. We've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
Covering all the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lenzendorf.
Well, as you know, a wild night of high school boys hoops last night. So you're probably wondering how we could possibly follow that up. Well, sit back and enjoy. Let's go to Mitchell Hall. Eagles ranked 5th. The Trojans ranked number 9. First half action, Dustin DeRusso pull up 3. Yeah, he called bank. Eagles out in front. Later, Chris Green drives, gets the reverse layup to go. UWL with a quick start, but the Trojans would fight back. Carlo Kolak in the paint through the contact bucket plus the foul. Illinois Wesleyan up 4 at the break, and they would pour it on in the second half. Hakeem Williams in the corner knocks it down. Trojans take a 16-point lead. But here come the Eagles. J.J. Piter showing off the post move off the glass for 2. Then it's DeRusso. This time another 3. Cash it. Eagles within 1. And then it's some defense turning into offense. Will Furman jumps the pass, gets the steal, and he's going all the way. UWL takes the lead. And down the stretch, it was Piter time. Drives, makes contact, hoop, plus the harm. Eagles go up 4, and he wasn't done. Top of the key, takes some ankles with him on the way to the layup. He is fired up because the Eagles complete the 16-point comeback, and they are moving on to the Elite 8, 72-65, the final.
I understood the situation. If I just scored, it's, like JT said, it's really hard to score on them, so I had to, take what they were giving me. And I guess you could say a switch kind of flipped inside me. Like, I didn't want this moment to, come out of my hands, and because I didn't want to lose because something I did, and I felt like our best chance to win was when I had the ball.
And UW La Crosse will face Washington University tomorrow at 7 for a spot in the Final Four. Well, the national tournament going swimmingly for UW La Crosse, as you can see. Meanwhile, the Badgers March Madness run begins next Thursday or Friday. Wisconsin in action in the Big Ten tournament, taking on UCLA, who beat them by 2 in late January. About midway through the first half, John Tonje makes his defender touch the floor, and he will connect on the three-pointer. And that was just the tip of the iceberg, folks. It was raining threes today in Indy. Max Klesmit is good from the corner. And then Steven Crowell from the top of the key. And then second half, it didn't really matter. Same story off the Klesmit miss. Xavier Amos is going to gather the rebound, pop it out to John Blackwell, who sticks it, plus the foul. Wisconsin ties a Big Ten tournament record with 19 makes from beyond the arc. Here's one more for good measure, courtesy of John Tonje. He had 6 on the day, and if Bucky can keep playing like that, look out. Here's John Tonje on why he was a little more fired up than usual today.
I think just being in a competitive game, it's kind of win or go home, and I was just trying to bring any energy I can. I know I'm known as more of a more calm guy, but I think I kind of couldn't help myself today. Some of the guys didn't. I mean, this guy didn't miss a 3 today, so it's kind of hard to contain it. So it was awesome today.
And Marquette taking on St. John's in the Big East tournament semis. About 6 minutes into the game, Cam Jones catching and firing from deep. He hits it. Golden Eagles go up 11. Johnnies would tighten things up on the fast break. Good passing leads to an R.J. Luis Jr. alley-oop lay-in plus the foul. Marquette up 2 at the break. In the second half, Aaron Scott spotting up from the wing. He connects. St. John's goes up 6. Golden Eagles trying to keep it close. The pass from Demarius Owens is almost picked off, but David Joplin is going to make him pay for the mistake. But Marquette had no answer for this man. Zuby Ejiofor, as he rocks the rim right there. He had 34 points in this one, and the Golden Eagles are bounced in the semifinal round. And on the mat, it's day 1 of the D3 Wrestling Championships, and it's a solid start for UWL as the Eagles are sitting at 4th place at the end of the first day, up by 1 point over North Central, who's in 5th. And still in striking distance, Tyler Goebel and Marcus Orlandoni advancing to the semis. Meanwhile, Tanner Gerber and Ben Kaczynski moving on into the consolation round. So the madness is beginning. You can feel it. A lot of madness. Badgers looking to play good into March as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any teams that you're looking out for in the March Madness tournament?
Texas A&M, Syracuse. I go for Duke all the time.
Okay.
And then, of course, now the Badgers.
Okay.
I got to be a fan.
Well, the Badger fans may not like the Duke answer because they beat us about a decade ago, I think.
Okay.
But that's all right. They like the
My
Badger.
grandpa loved Duke, so it's just like we kind of cheer him on for him.
There we go.
But it's my favorite sport to watch,
There
so
we go.
as long as we have a bracket going, I'll be zoned into the competition.
Love it.
Got to get in it. All right. We have more news right after this.
You wouldn't buy the first vehicle you saw.
Trust me, it's perfectly safe.
I'll take it. So don't hire the first personal injury lawyer you call.
Trust me.
Where do I sign? Object to anything less than the best. Call BGR.
It's Truck Month at your local Northland Ford dealers. Time for exclusive offers on your favorite Ford trucks, including F-150 and Super Duty, the best-selling trucks in America for 48 years. Ford F-Series. Get Truck Month ready with all-weather features that make life easier, like heated seating, a heated steering wheel, and remote start. Great deals on your favorite Ford trucks. That's how you get Truck Month ready. Now get over $12,000 in total savings on a new 2024 Ford F-150. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
It was just a one-time thing. That's what Brad Schimmel said when he gave a, quote, sweet bargain to a man who sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl. The sex predator served just 18 months in prison for his crime and got out. A few weeks ago, he was convicted of sexually assaulting a child again. And that was just one time Brad Schimmel let a sex predator loose on our kids. So why would we ever give him another chance? Brad Schimmel, too extreme for the Supreme Court.
Get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy.
The biggest thing I want to get across to people, whether it's via email or voicemail or text, is we are a local Wisconsin family-owned turnkey solar company.
We have project managers that will walk you through the process, keep you informed along the way, and make sure that the communication is the best that it can be.
All the financial benefits are awesome. And then on top of that, it's green energy. How can you lose?
Hey, I went to the new place. They didn't have everything.
but the bananas were on sale.
Wait, why didn't you go to Woodman's?
Hi, we're the Woodmans. I'm Clint. I'm Phil. Other stores promote a few items but charge more for everything else. At Woodman's, you save big time money on your whole grocery bill.
I even use the app to compare prices.
Oh my gosh, talk about receipt regret. Our work here is done.
Service and savings. It's Woodman's. Hiring the wrong personal injury attorney can cost you a lot. Researching personal injury attorneys costs you nothing. We're confident that your research will lead you to buy Goff and Rohde. BGR. Object to anything less than the best.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
A police officer in Bradenton, Florida became an impromptu pizza delivery man while responding to a call about an 8-foot alligator in the River Isle neighborhood. Body camera footage from Officer Tolson shows him warning a delivery driver about the alligator hiding under a car. The driver then asked the officer to deliver the pizza for her. Neighbors tried to warn the customer, but as Officer Tolson approached the house, the woman opened her door and saw the alligator.
There's a big alligator under my car.
Hey, ma'am, could you...
Oh, my lordy. I saw one when it first moved in.
get in the house?
Where's my pizza?
Trappers later got the gator, but more importantly, where was her pizza? Glad she got it safely. All right, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Hey, there he is. Let's do this. Right now, you can lease a new 2025 Camry for $329 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Curtis O'Brien, a convicted felon. He sexually assaulted a 5-year-old Wisconsin girl multiple times. Judge Susan Crawford could have given him 60 years in prison, but she let him walk. 2 years in prison. That's it. While his victim lives with the scars forever. She even let the predator live across the street from an elementary school. That was Crawford's choice. Another dangerous decision from Susan Crawford, putting all our kids at risk. She's just wrong for Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up, by the fire, or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat, or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
There's never been a better time to enjoy quality FlexSteel furniture than right now during the FlexSteel Factory Authorized Sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. You'll save on sofas made in the latest styles, chairs in your choice of fabrics, sectionals designed to fit your space, even luxurious leather sofas and recliners. Every FlexSteel style is included a huge savings of up to 40% off. Unlimited choices, big sale prices, and special financing happening now during the FlexSteel Factory Authorized Sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Love it.
Go from dreaming it to driving it today.
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Prius for $289 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, that line continues to push to the north. We've had a gust of 43 at La Crosse, so that leading edge could still produce some winds over 40 miles per hour, but not expecting any severe weather with it. As we go throughout the weekend, really showers Saturday morning. It's going to get windy late morning to the afternoon, and the temperatures, you'll start off 50, but you'll fall back to the mid-30s, and that will be probably a wind chill going on towards the evening, so it'll be feeling more like in the teens and 20s. So quite a change from what we got 80 today. Otherwise, St. Patrick's Day itself doesn't look too bad with 62.
Yeah, that green radar rain is really appropriate.
Oh, isn't it?
It's bringing the good luck here. All right, thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend.